Hello, 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 beautiful soul. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Kathleen, and you're tuning in to Blooming Lotus Healing Art. This is a place where you find spiritual guidance as well as tools to help you in your path of self-healing. So I am coming back from about a week, right? That I haven't been on here, and I was doing some live oracle readings at down at the Art Walk in Bradenton at the Art Junkies, which is a gallery located at Village of the Arts in Bradenton, which I was so excited to participate in. And I got to dress up like a gypsy and just really have some fun and do some oracle readings in person for people. So that was a really beautiful experience, and I'm super grateful for it. And I'm also grateful to be back here and sharing basically the knowledge that we have going on coming up with Mercury retrograde. So for those of you who are familiar with Mercury retrograde, you may find this a little bit refreshing, specifically because we're going to have some interesting things happening. Mercury retrograde is going to start next week, and it's going to start October 13th all the way to November 3rd, which is going to be the day of our election. So it's something that's kind of interesting, specifically because Mercury is all about rules, everything that has to do with communication and technology. And a lot of times what happens is that sometimes the technology kind of goes a little wacky during that time. So we want to pay attention to that. So I gathered some information from the website from Allure, and this beautiful astrologer, her name is Sophie St. Thomas. She wrote this beautiful article that I wanted to share with you guys. And I kind of wanted to, if you've never really understood what Mercury retrograde is, or you don't really understand or know what it is, I'm going to kind of go over the basics a little bit. And then after that, we'll do some oracle readings as well. I will be pulling cards specifically from my Oracle of the Unicorns for each sign, specifically guided towards the Mercury retrograde. So I'm going to give each sign of the zodiac a specific card that's going to give you certain wisdom for this time. One thing that I wanted to mention as well, if it's your first time in this channel, make sure you subscribe. If you're watching from YouTube, if you're watching from Facebook, make sure that you turn on those notifications so that way you know when I come live next. I have a lot of information coming up, and of course, I do these lives every Friday, and I share some knowledge on astrology. I'm not an astrologer, but an astrology enthusiast, so I love sharing all of the things that I find out here. Let me know in the comments, what is your zodiac sign? Let me know in the comments, what is your zodiac sign? Even if you're doing this from or watching this from the replay, make sure you let me know. I will be reading the comments later on offline once we are offline. So, well, without further ado, I'm so excited. I'm so grateful for your time, for taking the time to spend with me, and I'll try to be as concise as possible. So you guys already know, if you've been following me for a while, that I really love Yasmin Boland's book. I put the link to on the description below, where you can find the link to the Amazon link, the link to the Amazon link. Funny. So I do get a kickback from that. So if you do purchase the book from there, thank you so much for supporting me. And I also have some information below where you can find out how to support this channel. I have a Teespring where you can find some really cute little cups just like this. And I have some t-shirts. Okay, let me just get this out. I have my little goddess cup. Okay, look at that. So cute. I love it. I feel so cute when I do it. So basically, I'm going to read a little bit from her here, what she talks about, what she considers, or what, I mean, of course, she's basing it on traditional astrology. But basically, Mercury, what she says is that when you are looking at, so she gives two options here when it comes down to looking at the planets. So there's like the positive traits and there's the negative traits. So specifically for Mercury, the positive trait, when you're living positively with this planet, you're communicative, you're intelligent, and there's exchange of ideas. So positive exchange of ideas, which is a really wonderful thing. So we could take advantage of the positive traits of Mercury and start exchanging those ideas that we have, specifically now that we're going through this political time. We can switch our perspective and start exchanging our ideas from a place of understanding and really opening up our communication. So slowing down and really giving ourselves the time to open up to different perspectives and maybe integrate those perspectives, or maybe find points of convergence between two people. It's an important thing to do. So we can really take this energy and harness it in a positive trait. The way that you know that you're harnessing the energy in a negative trait, it would be that it's chattering, superficial, or inconsistent. So this is kind of interesting because it happens a lot with technology. It can get inconsistent during this time. So it's important that you pay attention to those things. If you see that your phone is kind of just doing crazy things, or your computer is just crapping out, or whatever it is that's happening with your technology, just know that Mercury retrograde is going to be part of that. I'm not saying that this is like astrology is like end all be all. You have, of course, control over your life, but we also have to be aware of the energies that we're dealing with. So that way we know, okay, well, this is happening. Let me just manage this during this time. So I mentioned earlier that I found some information online from Allure magazine, and there's this beautiful astrologer. Her name is Sophie St. Thomas. She wrote this really cool article that I really wanted to share because she really gave some tips and tools that kind of align with this channel and the purpose of me creating this content and me sharing this, and really I love it because it integrates what I stand about, like for all the things that I stand for. So basically understanding our energies, that's the reason why I talk about astrology, is to understand our energies, but also utilizing these energies to understand ourselves a little better, and also integrate the tools that help us kind of maneuver or navigate these times. So she says that, of course, it's going to start on Tuesday, October 13th. So mark your calendars to Tuesday, November 3rd. And it's going to be on the sign of Scorpio. So for some people, it may feel like, oh my gosh, Scorpio, really? Like, this is so deep, so dramatic. Like, oh my gosh, like what's going to happen? I don't know if I can handle that energy. Don't worry. Because what she's saying here is that even though the Scorpio is not known to be an intense sign, this retrograde is not going to be all about drama. So she of course is indicating that this is going to end, the last day of the Mercury retrograde is going to end on election day, which is kind of interesting, and she's mentioning that in there. So we may see some opportunities there when it comes down to communication and issues in that regard. So hopefully, we're hoping that things turn out good. But so this planet, like she says, like I mentioned earlier, rules communication, travel, technology, and when it becomes retrograde, she indicates that it can be unpredictable and chaotic. So for example, like if you are at your office and maybe your network just craps out, or maybe you lose I don't know, some document, or you were trying to save a document and never saved, something like that. It may happen. So just keep that in mind. Just be extra careful and extra, aware of this during this time. And also, this is also a time when communication can get a little awkward between people. Maybe you end up sending, and I know this happened to me today, I sent text messages to the wrong people. So that could happen as well. So it may not be technology, but maybe you're kind of distracted, or you're sharing things with people that you really didn't mean to. So really be really extra careful with that. Of course, thankfully, I didn't share anything bad to the people that I was sharing the information with. But, just be extra careful with that, especially if you're trying to send something private. Also, the other thing that happens is sometimes you can have delays with travel. So let's say you're traveling to another state or another country. You may experience a little bit extra delays than you're used to during this time. So keep that in mind. And also, this is a time where you don't want to make any sort of contract. So you don't want to make any financial decisions that are definitive. And if you do, you definitely want to make sure that you're reading everything in the contract, the fine print, to make sure that you're not misunderstanding anything, and you're not putting yourself in a situation that you didn't want to be in the first place. So keep that in mind. Just be extra careful during this time when it comes down to that. And also, the other thing that happens is during this time is that she mentions that you may have reappearance of exes or people from the past that may show up. And this is not necessarily a bad thing. This could be an opportunity for you to have closure with certain people, or maybe even become friends with them. So be open to that idea or that possibility. Don't close yourself up. This could be an opportunity for you to really address things from the past that were left up in the air. And this is a good time for you to just really slow down and have those more in tune conversations with that person. So just be really in tune with yourself, and just really just take the time to be present in every single thing that you're doing during this time. So she says that we have the opportunity to let go of the old and also any old ways of communicating that we have. So maybe you tend to be somebody who communicates in a way, or maybe you don't communicate very well during, typically. So this is an opportunity for you. Maybe some things will come up during this time that will show you or highlight to you that there's certain things that you need to address or need to change, because miscommunications are happening more often. So utilize this energy to look at yourself in the mirror and say, you know what, maybe I need to start communicating my needs better, or, or maybe start listening a little bit better to other people, or not be so reactive whenever I am speaking to people. And it's kind of interesting because we're dealing with Mars retrograde as well, which I'm not talking about that right now. But Mars retrograde specifically is on the sign of Aries, and it's a very fiery sign. It's a very fiery energy, very just go. But it could go if you're going on the negative trait of it, it could go the direction of very just aggressive behavior or aggressive communication. So just keep that in mind, to pay attention to all these energies, and try to take the time to focus on how you want to move forward in your communication with people. Also, another thing that she mentioned is to be extra suspicious. It's going to, so not extra suspicious. So she's saying that you may become extra suspicious during this time, specifically because this Mercury retrograde is being tinted or flavored with the flavor of Scorpio. So Scorpio is, it's a wonderful, deep, transformative sign, and it represents it's represented also or thought of as the phoenix, because it's very transformative and deep, and really goes into those places where those dark places that need to be shown and need to be seen. Scorpio is not afraid of that. So the thing about that, though, is that it could also go a direction that is on the negative side. So when it comes down to that, is that you may become extra suspicious about the people that you even trust in the first place. So keep that in mind. If you're feeling a little extra suspicious about things with somebody that you usually trust, then maybe question that for a little bit, and try to go back and center yourself, so that way you can make better decisions moving forward during this time. One thing that she recommends, which I absolutely love that she says this, is she says use meditation. Meditation is a great tool during this time for you to center yourself. Use this time to really up your meditation time, so that way you can really center and be in balance while you are navigating these energies during this time. So remember, we're dealing with a lot of energies. We're dealing with Mars retrograde, and we're also now dealing with Mercury retrograde. So that's going to give you a lot of energy that you're going to be dealing with at this time. I know I've been feeling it. I mean, specifically with Mars retrograde, has been a very powerful energy. And of course, now I'm feeling Mercury retrograde as well, as just kind of like pushing a lot of things to the surface, specifically because it's in Scorpio. So it's important that you really stay grounded as much as possible. I will be recording a meditation. It's probably going to be either this weekend or Monday. By Monday, I will have a meditation for Mercury retrograde. So it will be ready for you by the time Mercury retrograde hits. So I will be recording a meditation guided by spirit. It's going to be intuitive, as you already know, and it's going to guide you into this or help you through this time. So you can listen to it as many times as you need to. So another thing that I also wanted to mention is that Scorpio is, so what she says here is that she's mentioning that Scorpio is kind of like that detective of the zodiac, right? Is the one that's kind of, again, suspicious and always wanting to find out the truth and wanting to see the whole picture and understand everything. So know that some things, like I mentioned earlier, some things that are your skeletons or your shadows are going to show up at this time. So let me know in the comments if you're experiencing this energy, or if you maybe know somebody who is, and what are you doing to stay grounded during this time? And also let me know in the comments if you're familiar with Mercury retrograde. So the other thing that I also wanted to mention in here, I was just doing some notes here. So one thing that she mentioned was that you want to give yourself the space and the opportunity to revisit those. If you do have people from the past showing up, don't close yourself up. Give yourself the permission to have that deep understanding of what's happening and why this person is showing up in your life. Go into deep meditation and ask yourself those questions, and what is the lesson, or what is the need? Why? Because obviously they're showing up for a reason. So what is the need of this person showing up, and what is it that you need closure on? So really take the time to do this. Also, one thing is, finding the closure. If you need to rely on somebody to help you, just maneuver all these energies, I do want to mention I have a Facebook group that I created. It's called Sacred Sisterhood of the Blooming Lotus, and this group is specifically created for people like you who want to dive deeper into meditation, want to dive deeper into modalities that will help you in this journey. Also be part of a community, supportive community that will kind of like that are in the same journey, right? That understand the fact that the spiritual work is work, and being in community and having people that understand what you're dealing with on that one-to-one level, on that deeper level, because they themselves understand the work. It's an important thing to do. So feel free to search Sacred Sisterhood of the Blooming Lotus, and you can go in there and really find a little bit of community there. So I'm the one conducting that group right now. It's kind of small still, and it is a private group. So whatever it is that you share this there, it stays in the group, so you don't have to worry about things being shared away. So shared away. I want to make sure that it's a very safe container, and loving and non-judgmental container. So I'm super excited to share that with you. So during this time, if you feel the need to be supported, feel free to join the group. I'll be more than happy to help, and I'm sure all of the other sisters in there will be more than happy to help if you are in need. So you will also notice again that this is the time when we're dealing with with the elections, and so the fact that it's ending at the time of the elections is giving us a possibility of having technical issues or even uncounted votes. This is something that she's mentioning here. Of course, we're hoping that that's not the case, but we're hoping that they double and triple check everything. But that is a possibility. So that's one of the things that I feel can be a little bit up in the air. So I'm hoping that that's not the case, but let's just all send like good juju to all these technologies that they're using, so that way Mercury doesn't get into that. So just try not to stress during this time if you can. Of course, I invite you to really practice meditation. Again, I'm going to be recording a meditation for you to listen to as many times as you need. And it's going to be specifically guided for Mercury retrograde, for the sign of Scorpio. And just remember that this is a time for you to take the time for self-care. Well, anytime is time for self-care, but this is a special time for you to do that, especially if you're feeling the energies and you're feeling that heavy energies, then you definitely want to make sure that you're taking the time to do that. Okay. So that is it. That is all the information that I have on Mercury retrograde. So I wanted to pull some cards for each sign, and I will be pulling them from the Oracle of the Unicorns. And so I'm going to start with the first sign, which is a sign of Aries. So let's see. Let's pull a card for the sign of Aries. I'm going to shuffle the cards here for a bit and see what shows up for the sign of Aries. And I'm going to pull one card. Okay. 2 cards came out for the sign of Aries. So I'm going to have to honor them. You guys know that I usually honor the cards. So the first card that came up for you, this is the guidance throughout the Mercury retrograde that we're going to be experiencing from next week all the way till November, to November 3rd. Dear Aries, you are being called to action. So taking action towards those things that you want. And it's kind of interesting. We were talking about balance. I was just mentioning what this beautiful astrologer was mentioning about balance and going back into meditation. And this one came up for you, beautiful Aries. So really bringing yourself back into balance and practicing those meditation techniques that are going to help you in your journey of dealing with Mercury retrograde. So So let's see what other cards come here for. So I'm going to try to do one card if my card in my deck permits. So the next sign that we're going to do is Taurus. Ooh. So, Taurus, we have, okay, so 3 cards came out for Taurus. So we have the energy of receiving. So learn to receive, dear Taurus, during this time. Receive the support and the energy of love and compassion that the universe has for you. And also connect with that energy of the goddess. It's important that you connect with the energy of the goddess, dear Taurus. Sometimes you may be dealing with a lot of that masculine energy. Try to bring that balance back, specifically now that we're dealing with that balance during this time for Mercury retrograde. Make sure that you balance out your masculine energy with the energy of the goddess. There's many ways that you can do this. You can do this through dancing, through art, through any sort of modality that will connect you with that really flowy energy of the goddess. Also connecting with water. That's a really great way to connect with the goddess. Also connecting with your womb. So there's many ways that you can do this. Also know that your anger, or if you may be experiencing anger over certain communications or certain miscommunications with people, know that these are valid and you must honor these, but also make sure that you are not falling into reactive states. So make sure that you do that, dear Taurus. So let's see. We got Gemini. Gemini calling in the energy of Gemini. Let's see. Gemini. Ooh, Gemini. Ooh, I love this. Gemini, you're being called. Okay, so this is the one card. Gemini, you're being called to connect with the energy of innocence. So going back into doing the things that connect you with your inner child, connect you with that sense of joy. You know, it's time for you to play and have fun and do things that bring you a lot of joy, bring you a lot of positive energy through things that you enjoyed when you were a child. So go back and do those things that you loved doing when you were a child. So maybe that is playing a video game, or maybe that is, going out and playing outside, or maybe going out on a bike ride, or whatever it is, or just doing some art, whatever it is that connects you with that inner child. Make sure that you do that at this time. That's going to help you bring yourself back into balance and get you to step away from the energy of sadness or stress. Hello, Celeste. Okay, let's see. We got the energy of cycles, and this is specifically for the sign of Cancer. So Cancer, we have cycles, and that's kind of interesting. If you look at that, we have the moon behind Cancer, which is kind of interesting to me. So Cancer, we have the energy of the moon showing up. So really understanding that you are going through, this is just a specific time that you're going to be experiencing more emotions than usual. So know that those emotions are going to come up and they are going to release. And, once you release them and you address them, try not to let those emotional charges carry over into your communication. So remember, we're talking about Mercury, which is all about communication. So try not to use your emotional stages whenever you're dealing with highly emotional stages to carry over into your communication. So, feel the emotion, absolutely feel them all, and do whatever you need to allow that to flow. But, when it comes down to other people, try not to connect your emotions to the communication that you're doing towards others. So that way there's a clear understanding between each other, and there's no hard feelings on both ends. Okay. And also try not to take things personal. Sometimes people say things and they don't realize that they're hurting you. So make sure that you communicate clearly that that's not something that you appreciate and that you would like that to change. So this is a time for you to speak up, open up that throat chakra. All right. So we have that. And then, so this one. So we have the energy of cycles came up again for, so after Cancer, we have Leo. So Leo, this energy of cycles also applies to you, but it's kind of interesting. This card that came up for you, which is a kind of fiery card. I love it. Kind of reminds me of Mars, and the energy of fire. And of course, Leo is it's a sign of fire. So this one is specifically for friendship. So really, Leo, this is the time for you to reach out to those people that you care about, that you may be missing at this time. You may have been experiencing a period where you are retracting yourself from your friends because you're dealing with maybe some emotional upheaval. And make sure that you're reaching out to those friends that care about you, that you know are on your side, so that way you are supported and given the loyalty that you deserve and that you usually give out to your beautiful friends as well. So don't feel afraid to be the one that's seeking out. I know that you're always the one giving your beautiful energy to others, and you always want to be that beacon of light for others. But remember that sometimes we also need to receive some of that beautiful friendship. So make sure that you are seeking your friends and speaking your needs at the time, and letting them love you and care for you the way that you deserve and the way that you've given to them as well. Okay, so we have Virgo. Ooh, okay. So Virgo, okay, my beautiful Virgo, you're being called to go into nature during this time to find that balance that we talked about during this Mercury retrograde. So starting now, because really Mercury retrograde you start feeling the energy a little bit before the actual time. So you're really being called to go into nature whenever you're feeling like, you're dealing with a lot, and, that energy is just kind of like weighing you down. Just go out into nature and allow yourself to relax, allow yourself to bring yourself back to balance, allow Mama Gaia to connect you back into your balance. You are a wonderful being connected with so much love and so much compassion to give to others. You're giving so much of your love and kindness to others. It's important that you find that balance to go back within yourself and really be able to speak from your heart. So a lot of times what happens is that when we are outside of our balance, we're going to speak we're not going to speak from our heart. We're going to speak from a place of maybe anger or frustration. So make sure that you are connecting with that heart chakra and connecting with that nature element by going outside. All right, so we have Libra. Let's see, Libra. We are in Libra season. What is going on for our beautiful Libras? Let's see. Ooh, let's see. This one's coming up. Ooh, I love this, Libra. We have the energy of possibility. Look at that. That's lovely. So really understanding, Libra, that at this time, you're being called to raise your standards in regards to those people around you and the way they treat you, the way they speak to you. So knowing that that sometimes we let things slide and we let people speak to us in certain ways that we don't necessarily agree with, but because we want to keep the balance, because we are that balance, right? You're all about the balance and keeping everything in harmony, and you want to make sure that there's no disharmony. This is really calling you to speak up, because really, even if you think that you're keeping things in harmony outside, they're not really in harmony within you. So raise your standards and speak up and say what you mean and mean what you say. This is also calling you to elevate those expectations of the people around you. You deserve to be treated fairly, just as you are treating everybody else. So just because you're treating everybody fairly and you're also keeping everything in balance outside of you, doesn't mean that those people are not toxic for you. So keep in mind that, pay attention to how people are communicating with you and the way, what are the words that they're saying to you? Are they hurtful? Are they supportive? Are they, pay attention to those people and make sure that you are surrounding yourself with people who are really going to honor you in that regard. So that's probably going to come up for you a lot during this time. So keep that in mind. Okay. And then we have Scorpio. Oh, Scorpio came up. Scorpio. I love this. So we have the energy of patience, dear Scorpio. So during this time of Mercury retrograde, Scorpio, you're going to have to be patient. Your energy, the energy of your sun sign is pretty much taking over Mercury during this time, Mercury retrograde. So, just be patient. There's going to be some mishaps in the way. You may have some people show up from your past that you don't even want to look at or you don't want to see, but really pay attention to that. And why is it that these people are showing up in your life again? And what is it that you need to integrate? What is it that you need to forgive? So be patient with yourself and the other people that are surrounding or surfacing into your space during this time. Also, you are also being called to understand that everything is in divine timing. So just because you haven't received that email yet, just because you haven't received the response yet from those projects that you're trying to do, or those things that you're trying to create, it doesn't mean that they're not going to happen. It's just sometimes they take a little longer than they have to percolate. So let things just unfold the way they're supposed to for your highest good. Okay. All right, so the next one is Sagittarius. Sagittarius. Ooh, there we go. Sagittarius. Okay, this one wanted to come up for you too. All right, so we have 2 cards for you, Sagittarius. The first one that came up for you is Courage. I love this card so much. The card of courage and then the card of growth. So this is a time for you to have the courage to speak up, to speak what is in your heart at this time, to really say what's been kind of just growing within yourself, with others, and really setting those boundaries with those people who have not, set those boundaries or not respected your boundaries. So maybe you've maybe mentioned certain things here and there, but they still haven't responded positively towards your boundaries. So this is a time for you to really refine the way you are expressing this, and let them know that that this is enough. Like this is not the way to do it. And the reason why is because this is part of your growth. So this is a lesson that you have to integrate during this time. Caroline, this is perfect for me this month. Awesome. I love it. That's awesome. So this is pretty much a time for you to integrate this lesson, and also maybe look into reading books from people who talk about boundaries, or maybe even seek a mentor. And the mentor doesn't have to be somebody that you know personally. It can be an author that you really appreciate, or maybe even a person, maybe a speaker, or somebody that you appreciate. Maybe you can look for a TED Talk about boundaries, and how to set up those boundaries, and how to do that in a loving way. And maybe you can integrate that within yourself and then move forward. Okay. All right. So the next one that we have is Capricorn, which is my sign. So let's see what my sign has to say for Mercury retrograde. Okay. This one wanted to come out. Let's see what it says. Ooh, anger. Yes. So beautiful, Capricorn. Your anger is going to come up in a lot of ways whenever you're communicating with people and you're having miscommunication, and maybe you're not you feel frustrated because things are not kind of like falling in place, and you're kind of like in this like really like crazy place where you're not understanding each other. So really go back into your center, dear Capricorn. I understand you, but understand also that we can't control everything. We can't control other people. So we have to remember that, they are in their sacred space, and we are in our sacred space. We're all in our sacred paths, and we have to remember to respect each other's paths. So remember that anger is not going to solve anything. Absolutely do get upset, do get angry, whatever you need to do to express that away from, the people that you love. And then going back from a place of kindness and compassion, and really addressing let's see how we can communicate, how can I communicate this a little better without having to just explode and just go crazy on people. Okay. All right, so let's see the next person here. If you are the next person, the next sign, it's going to be Aquarius. Aquarius, calling in the sign of Aquarius. There we go. All right, Aquarius. So this is a time for you to, so we have the energy of growth for you, Aquarius. So kind of interesting. You're going back with this energy. But what I see here for you specifically, Aquarius, is that this is a time to be humble. This is a time to be humble and know that sometimes we don't have the answer to everything. So really understand that, just because you you have this expectation of yourself of being always in the know of everything around you, and always, because you are very intellectual. You love having the intellect and having the openness of everything that's out there in the universe available in your mind. But know that sometimes we have to learn how to be humble, and know that maybe the other person that's sharing this knowledge with us, or with you, it's just really trying to help you in your journey of growth. So really pay attention to those people that are showing up during this time. Maybe you're getting triggered because you feel like they're giving you information that you didn't really want or you didn't ask for, but maybe there is some medicine in there for you. So be humble and allow yourself to open up to those mentors that are going to show up during this time, are going to communicate something to you that may trigger you or make you feel uncomfortable. Okay. All right, so the next person or the next sign is Pisces, and that's going to be our last one. Ooh, Pisces, let's see. Ooh, Pisces, I love this. And we have the energy of the moon behind you, Pisces. I love that. And it's the energy of celebration. So celebrating the fact that you have achieved so much, that you have had a hard time opening yourself up. You have a hard time expressing yourself in ways that that you've been wanting to in the past, because you keep so many things within yourself. But you have come into an understanding, or into a different perspective, that things might need to change. So you're going to find yourself catching yourself, seeing how things have been shifting within yourself, and how you are able to manage miscommunications with others a little better than you did before. And you're not going to be taking it as personal as you did before. And you're not going to take it as deep in your emotions as you did before. So really celebrating that beautiful energy of the moon, and understanding that this has been a beautiful journey for you. And know that during this time, of course, more things may show up and more things may trigger you. But at the same time, you're noticing that you are handling it a lot better. So give yourself permission to pat yourself in the back, dear Pisces. You're doing amazing. And again, go back into that meditation, and finding different things to help you manage your energy and manage your emotions, so that way you could always be in balance and really flow like the beautiful fish that you are in the waters. Okay, so that's all we have so far. And so we went all through the 12 zodiac signs for the Mercury retrograde. So I gave you some information there. And so if you are new, again, if you watched all the way until here, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. And let me see. I get hot, guys, when I do this. Again, if you're watching from YouTube, make sure you subscribe to my channel, and make sure that you go into the link below. I have the information on how you can get this book through the Amazon link, which you will be supporting me because I am an Amazon associate. So thank you so much for supporting this channel. If you do purchase this book, I love Yasmin's Boland book. It's really beautifully written, and she's just so lighthearted in the way she approaches astrology. It's wonderful. And also, you have the Teespring, and I do have a couple of things coming up. I have the meditation, Sacred Pause meditation group that I will be so it's going to be on the 22nd. So it's going to be Thursday, 22nd in Port Charlotte. I will be at Village of Earth and Sky. My beautiful friend Edie is opening up a beautiful meditation and mindfulness studio where she is going to have different teachers coming through. I am honored to be one of the first teachers that she is, inviting into her space. So we're doing in-person meditations. Make sure that you come in if you are in the area, if you're from Port Charlotte or maybe from the Tampa Bay area. Make sure you come down and take some time for yourself. Take some time to take a pause and do some self-care. This is a perfect time for you to do that, especially because we're entering the energy of Mercury retrograde. So why not? Why not take the time to do that? So thank you so much for watching. I'm so grateful for your time, and I hope to see you again soon. And look out for that meditation video I will be posting on Monday. Namaste.